I have heard this so many times where the client's like, yeah, we just want this done very quickly. Don't put too much effort into it. That never actually translates or applies because when you just do it quickly, the client's like, I was expecting something better.
Yeah, or even better, the client doesn't know what the hell they want, right? They say, "We need X," and that's a reaction, right? And if you just go out and build it, 9 times out of 10, you'll give it to them and be like, "What the hell is this?" You know? Or you get halfway through it and they'll change the spec on you 5 times. So that's a painful lesson we've learned a few times. Just push the brakes. Like, push the brakes a bit and be like, "Are you sure? Why don't we dig into this?" And you have to get them off of being output focused and solution focused towards, understanding the real problem.
On this side of the fence, if you think about, being a vendor or a production arm or an order taker. So for example, if a client came to me and told me that, Paul, I want to make some cassette tapes, I'd be like, wait, why are you trying to make some cassette tapes? That technology doesn't even exist. But if you were an order taker, you would literally be like, okay, I need to go make some cassettes.
Have you run into a situation in which the client just is adamant they need cassettes? How do you address that?
That's a really good question. Is that when the client comes to you with a request, I typically ask them, well, why do you want this? What are you trying to do? How is this going to help you with your business? And who are you making this for? So I ask all these inquisitive and curious questions to understand why, the what, the how, the who. And by asking all those questions, what happens is that you find that the client, as they're trying to answer those questions, they find themselves in a position where they're like, wait a second, who gave us this idea? Why are we even making cassette tapes? And I find that in most situations, the client themselves are like, wait, 1 second, we actually don't know why we want this. Maybe you can tell us what is a better way, right?
Perfect.
But that all depends on if you're trying to diagnose or you're trying to listen. So I think there's a difference between listening and hearing, being a vendor or being a strategic partner. So there is that lens.
I think that that's really an important note. The listening versus hearing, or less experienced designers who aren't really paying attention. They're hearing the client, but they're not really listening to what's being said.
That's actually such a good point. And there's so many double clicks into that. But if I was to pick my favorites out of that, the first thing is fear of looking stupid in front of the client. Two is not having the right amount of experience to know what kind of questions to ask. And then three, to be able to read the room or to read the client's expressions
Mm.
because the client could be saying this, but they could be meaning that. So that comes with experience and like really paying attention and not listening with the intent of responding, but listening to understand. And that's how you shift from being output focused, which is being a vendor and a production arm, to becoming outcome focused and being a strategic partner.